uh, it's just Cuties but Gundam? What? 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 I don't know that you know what you're saying. I'm gonna prove that you've got I'm just gonna say you're a little ignorant. A little ignorant. What? Evangelion is a beautiful story about people who want to have friends and make friends and be together, who aren't able to communicate and make that happen, that end up hurting themselves as they do. Ooh. What? And to compare it to something that is objectively weird and creepy. It's just insane. I'm about to spoil Evangelion all over the place. Evangelion, the series, is one of the greatest works of all time. The original TV series paired up with End of Evangelion, which does indeed, yes, have that scene that's a little bit like, ooh, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Ava is a kid who wants affection, who wants to be loved, who wants to find a family. They want, like, we're watching shows this season, Spy Family, for example, that is building that found family. Daemon, building that found family. We have shows where they try to, like, this is a thing that we like and that we enjoy. But as our friend Shinji finds family, the family he finds is just as messed up as him in a different way. And when you're a kid, when you're me, when you're 9 years old, watching Evangelion, the TV series, for the first time, and you have a good, stable family, you still are able to look at it and be like, man, what's going on here? Who are these people? They have problems, they have issues, and it's like, I had a stable family, I had a good family, I grew up very well, but you still have problems and things that you struggle with, and you see other people struggle with that on the show, and sometimes they don't get over it. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes everything they do leads to them having more and more issues, and they become so real with the way that they're actually interacting because of that. You hate Shinji because Shinji is every time you weren't able to step up and do something that you needed to do or wanted to do. And you see that in him when you look at that, and you hate it. You love Asuka, but you're worried about her and you fear where she's going because she is those moments where you are so confident, so prideful, and then you fall and you watch her fall through the season and you're like, I have been there where I knew I was on top. I knew I was the best. And then I stopped something. Something broke. Something changed in me and I was unable to continue forward. They are getting in giant fleshy robots that are containing the souls of their mothers in order to continue forward. So the thing that they want to be closest to in life, the family that they're looking for, they have the entire time, but they don't know it because it's all covered up with robotics, with technology, with things that are in the way between them and getting to that connection that they want until they do. But when they do, it goes berserk and the world tells them no, and it tells them this is bad. We can't have this happen. We can't go berserk again. We can't do this. We have to undo. We have to back off. You can't go to a point where you can defeat we call them angels in the series because that's what they call them and they have all that religious symbology, but they're really your demons. You can't defeat your demons until you get into that berserk mode, until you actually connect emotionally with something, until you get to the point where you need to, and you're ripped away from that. You're torn away from that when you get too close. We can't have that happen again. We can't let that happen again. The one time that it happens too far, Shinji disappears into the mom goop and is gone for an entire episode. And then his surrogate mother has to deal with the fact that she just lost him. And now we have that extra little bit. And you watch it as a kid and you're like, man, these people are messed up. How are they working through this? And then they don't work through it. And you're like, oh, shoot. What if I don't work through it? What happens? Does my story just end and then like nothing happens? I need to step up and figure this out. Like, it's a really interesting way in that the show can actually like propel you onward to get into that phase, to get into that mindset of, you know what, I want that congratulations at the end. And there's different ideas as to whether or not that congratulations really was deserved. And then you watch it again. You're older. You're 15. You just, the internet is at a place where you have it in your bedroom on a computer. Smartphones are out. We're able to kind of connect using that technology, and you watch it and you're like, you know what? I can watch this show and I can look at these people and I can say, you know, I kind of get where Gendo's coming from. I get what it's like to want somebody that you're not able to be with, that it isn't there anymore, and you connect with someone who's had loss, because you've had loss, and it doesn't matter what that loss is. It doesn't matter if it was a grandparent, a direct parent, a spouse, or even a cat. You can connect with the loss of a character who knew it. You know, it was hard when you're a kid connecting with the other kids to see that, because Shinji never really knew his mom was gone throughout the season. And then you can connect with Gendo, and you're like, I get lost. I get that. I feel that. I understand where that's coming from. And then you watch it again, and you're older, and you're working jobs, and you're paying taxes, and life kind of sucks, but you know what? You're at a point where you can make life be what you want it to be. But you're getting to a point where you're not really connecting with a ton of people anymore outside of your work. High school is gone and done, college is gone and done, and you're not really connected with the friends as many as you thought you might have been. And so now you're connecting to Misato, and now you're seeing what it's like to be someone who's working a job. They have to work. You have the one or two connections through the job that you want to keep, and even though you don't really like them, sometimes you still have to have them because that's all you have. And so you can connect, and you can see from her entire side of the story. But I have the gay character. He was fun. I've never connected with Kaoru, to be honest with you. So, sorry, I can't speak to that specifically. But there's always somebody else at another stage of your life throughout that series that's dealing with something or doing something that you can connect to, and you can get a story, and you can get an idea, and you can sort of take those lessons and you can apply them to your life, and you can sort of decide, like, I'm not going to do what they did, or I am going to do what they did, or I can see why they did that. I'm going to make this choice in my life. And you can apply so much of it to yourself that way. And then the movie End of Eva comes out and says, hey, remember those last two movies, or those last two episodes? Here's what was probably happening in reality. And you get like a really cool action show. It starts out with Shinji hitting his rock bottom, hitting his lowest of lows. You know, he's a messed up high school kid who you know, has been traumatized through the entire series. Misato is taking her last stand as his protective mother, but also kind of that, you know, is she stepping too far? We talk about that all day. But in the end, you've got Asuka, who figures out that her mom was there the whole time, that she has had that connection that she needs, and all she had to do is accept it. And then she becomes as powerful as she needs to be until the story doesn't need her anymore. And then you have Shinji, who makes that decision to goop everybody, and all of a sudden we're all in the fantasy, and you're blending, and all of everyone sees all of everything, and you're connecting in this really weird, unique way that I don't think a lot of other shows have ever really gone into. But then the final decision is, I still want to be me. I still want to be unique. I still want to be separate from other people. I still want to have an identity that is me. I want to be outside of that perfect freedom that I can go anywhere, I can fly anywhere, I can go everywhere. I want to have gravity, and I want to have a physical wall between me and my soul and who I am and the other person. And I want to see the interaction that comes from that. I want to see how we can butt heads, how we can connect, how we can enjoy each other, how we can love, how we can do all these things. That makes life so much more fun than us just always immediately knowing everything about the other person. And then the director isn't depressed anymore. And he says, you know what would be cool is if I redid my favorite series that I ever made. But instead of being depressed, I'm going to be happy. And he takes this beautiful show about hurt people who are trying to find their best way in life and turns it into a shoot 'em up, a shmup game that you drop quarters into at an arcade and just blast everything until you're done blasting everything, and it doesn't matter because we got robots with big powers and cool things and specs, and they all go boom, and you sort of ruin what you had. and you lose some of it, because now you have people who look at Evangelion and all they see is those movies. All they see is just a hyped up robot show. And well, this is kind of trippy. There's some interesting visuals, but at the end of the day, nothing that interesting. Nothing is visceral. Nothing is like tearing out your heart as watching one angel and Ava just tear each other apart, and to see the bone and the blood, and to see a kid screaming through that, it has so much more emotional impact than flying through space, shooting stuff, and having it explode. That it blows my mind that the same person was behind both of those series. Just blows my mind, and I wish they didn't exist. This is what thinking about something for over a year looks like. That is exactly what it looks like.